Every day, the library is utilized by students in Mepham. Homework, classwork, projects, studying, and more occurs in the beautiful facility on the 3rd floor. But who runs the show up here? Before the school starts bustling with students and faculty, Mrs. Gellerman opens up the library, in a way opening the school. With the simple turn of her key, the school turns into a more productive place, and it soon becomes obvious as to why students rush into the library before the first bell rings at 7:30.
I think there are a couple of different reasons they come. One reason is to do homework, so they don't have to do it later. They do it before they go home or before practice. Another reason is to see their friends, hang out, just have a place where they can sit and talk. And the third reason is the technology.
I usually do my homework because I don't do overnight. It helps me, do my work that I forgot overnight. Because I'm very disorganized, so yeah.
The show is not completely run by Mrs. Gellerman, though. Mrs. Stack is just as important to the operation as anyone, and the library would not run smoothly without her.
We have the 2013 Librarian of the Year, Ms. Stack. She went on a national competition and came in 2nd place in the nation and won the state tournament in New York as the Librarian of the Year. What she's done to the Shari Stack Library is absolutely positively amazing. The librarian before was all about this is a welcoming, nourishing environment, and if Ms. Stack and Ms. Gellerman can't help you, then you're helpless, because they're probably the 2 most important resources to make this library work.
So when I started working here at Mepham, I had one goal, and my one goal was just to make this place a warm and welcoming environment where students wanted to be.
If you couldn't already tell, the Mepham Library is not your ordinary library.
Relaxing. Educational.
Books.
Shh. Work.
Boring.
Boring.
Shh.
Boring. Annoying.
Cold.
Don't speak!
Quiet.
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 Shh.
Peaceful.
Productive.
Shh.
Surrounding the main reading room are the stacks of general reference books, to which the reader can come directly for the volumes he wants. But in a library containing nearly 6 million books and pamphlets...
In 1998, if you told me that I was going to become a librarian, I would have thought you were crazy, because we hated this place. We never came here. It wasn't warm and welcoming. The librarian only kept one of the doors open over there, and you would have to leave your backpack at the front of the library and just take the books that you needed. She was very worried about somebody stealing the books. I don't have that philosophy. I think if a kid wants to steal a book, that's a great thing, and we shouldn't be worried about, an $8 book over the student's love for reading or wanting that particular item. So I'm very happy that I became a librarian, even if it wasn't at the beginning for all the right reasons.
In a library, I picture you find a book and you read it, and our library is very different than that. I feel like our library has many different things to do. We have computers, we're able to socialize with our friends, we're able to read with our friends and do a ton of research and enjoy ourselves.
The transformation of Mepham's library from a traditional one to what it is today is incredible. From a book-filled library where no talking was allowed, to an area now where students can be creative, have fun, and socialize with their friends, all while learning.
I think Mepham's library is the hub of our community. This is where people come to learn, to gain resources, to meet with friends, and to prepare and conduct classwork.
So welcome to the library. I'm going to take you on a quick tour. Over here on this side, I call it the classroom side. So it houses 27 PCs that students can use to do their homework or classwork. We also have our 3D printer over here. So right now I am currently printing up a chess piece. So for the makerspace, we bought a checkers board, but it didn't come with any chess pieces. So we thought we don't need to go out and buy a new checkerboard, a new chessboard rather. We have the checkerboard, we'll just make our own pieces. So right now I'm printing the bishop. And if you can get a look here, this is what it is printing so far. It'll take about 40 minutes to print that piece. And then hopefully we'll have a set soon. So this side of the library houses two of our main books. So over here we have our biography section. Biographies are books about people. Over here on the other side we have our fiction section. This is the most used section. So our fiction books, they're arranged in alphabetical order by the author's last name. Every book in our library has an address. It's where the book lives. Like you have an address, it's where you live, it's where somebody can find you, it's where the mailman goes to deliver your mail. It's the same thing here in the library. Every book has an address, and the address is on their spine label. That's what we call that, a spine label. And as I was saying, our circulation statistics have tripled in the fiction section since we've instituted independent reading. Over here we also have our textbooks. Textbooks are possibly the most used books in the library. So students, instead of bringing their books back and forth from home to school, they can just check out one of our textbooks. Some students actually take the books physically to their classes or over there in the main seating area. A lot of you now just take a picture of the page that you need, so you ask to borrow the book for that reason. We also have a bunch of supplies for students. So when I got to the library 12 years ago, I realized that kids needed stuff to do their work and never really had the supplies. So we have all this stuff and students can just take whatever they want whenever they need it. Right now we have Stick Together, which was just finished. I'm gonna put up another one this afternoon. Do you guys know what it's of?
The Scream.
It's the Scream, yeah. What I love about this is that they're just little stickers that you put. It's like paint by number, but it's called paint by sticker really. It's called Stick Together is the company that produces this, and it's been a great like community building activity. We have our regular students that like to come in, our regular teachers that like to come in. Some teachers come in and put one sticker on a day until it's finished. Some teachers have a really hard time, and students have a really hard time figuring out what it is until the very end. But it's nice when you put up a new one and kids are trying to guess what it is. It's been a really fun activity here for our makerspace. Over here we have two computer carousels for students to come in. These computers I like to leave open to students on their free periods, on their off periods. Students that just want to like check their email or do their homework, they have a place to go. So the architecture is very reminiscent of the Greek period. Again, I was saying, so it starts at youth, it goes to learning, then maturity, and old age. I love it because it's like when you guys come in as freshmen, if you think about it that way, you come in and you're new and you have no idea what's going on, and then you come here and you come to a freshman orientation and you learn a little bit about the library, and then you get into your sophomore year and you're learning more, and then you become upperclassmen and you're mature, a little bit more mature, and then old age, I mean, it's not really old age, but if you think about it, like you've matured so much since you've come in as freshmen, and by the time you leave, you're grown men and women, and then we're, sending you off to college for the next stage of your life. We have received a lot of money from the Alumni Association, especially the class of 1954 has been super generous in donating money to our library. What's really great about that is that we get to do things that we wouldn't normally be able to do with our regular library budget. One of those things was this iPad reference bar. So we have 6 iPads here, and then the students have access to use the iPads. The alumni from the class of 1954 really likes to see how the technology is coexisting with the structure. They really love the building and the history of this building, and we want to do things that work with the building and not against the building. We need to bring the technology into the library, but in a way where it's not intruding upon the structure itself. So we try to do that, and they really seem to really like this. So here are our nonfiction books, and we do a lot of weeding. And what weeding means is that we take books off the shelf that are no longer relevant. So we had books that, said Pluto was a planet, right? And now it's not a planet. Or is it a planet? Is it a dwarf planet? So, we want to take books off the shelves that are no longer relevant. Like, we used to have books that said Hep C had no cure, but Hep C has a cure. So we want to make sure those health books that are no longer accurate are taken off the shelves. Science books, are taken off the shelves that are no longer accurate, and replacing them with stuff that is accurate, replacing it with stuff that's really good. Over here we also have our life-size Jenga. So these were just made from old soda boxes, 12-pack soda boxes, and we wrapped them with craft paper. A bunch of us did it, students. And this is one of the, I think, most exciting things right now in the library that the students really seem to love to play. I constantly just hear hear them toppling over, and that's how I know that kids are playing it and using it, because I constantly hear that sound. And just something fun, just something that, you know, can like take a break from, you know, the stresses of high school life, studying and all the AP classes and the Regents testing and all that. This really lends itself to just like 5 minutes of kind of mindfulness, if you will, just focusing on the singular task of, you know, getting the blocks and not having it topple over. I find the students are very stressed out today. There's a lot of anxiety, and just doing something fun like this for a couple of minutes really kind of helps to reset. So we just started a new district initiative called Flipgrid. And what Flipgrid is it's quick videos that students can take of themselves to answer all sorts of questions that their teachers pose. So the teachers create a topic. We've done, Mr. Atzinger has done a topic on like book recommendations, and he'll have his students hold up the book and give like a 30-second review of a book. Some of the LOTE teachers, the world language teachers, are using it now for their recitation. They have to speak in Spanish or French or Italian, and they have to answer questions. They upload these videos. So what I did was, I got this tent here. I got this idea at a conference that I went to. And I put a chair in there so that students can do their videos with a little bit of privacy and a little bit of quiet in there, so they can go in there, they can record themselves doing their Flipgrid. Guys, we look up here. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds to get up there. So I've been in the library here 13 years, and I only knew about these lights on the outside. So when Charlie Pennington is our head custodian. When he came a few years ago, he said like, oh, you've never put the lights on. And I'm like, what do you mean? I put the lights on every day. And he goes, no, there are lights in there. Hundreds and hundreds of lights in the dome itself. And I said, I had no idea there were lights up there. So he went and replaced all of those lights with LED light bulbs, and now that's on constantly. It's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the lights in there. And actually only half of them are on, every other one is on, because when all of them are on, it washed out the ceiling, and the ceiling looks white, but the ceiling's actually gray up there in the circle, in the oval, I should say. And he repainted everything. So for as long as I've been here, the inside of the dome was blue, and the paintings on the side where it's gray was blue. And Charlie came in, he's like, garnet, it's actually garnet and gray are our colors, not maroon and gray, it's garnet and gray are our school colors, and he wanted to restore it to those colors. Those are not actually the original colors. He also secured us funds through the district to put all new lines. We just have these brand new lines this year, and they're so much better. They let in only 3% of the light. They're 1987% blackout shades, but it's so bright in here, and it's such a wonderful place. Every time parents and students come to the library that don't go to the school here, they're always amazed by this library. We're so lucky to have it. No other district, no other school in the district has a library as beautiful as this one. So in 2015, we received our first check from the class of 1954, and every year since they've donated $1,954 to us for all different library activities. Some of that money went to pay for our 3D printer. It's going to pay for a television, a 55-inch television above the bulletin board over there. It went to pay for the iPad reference bar. Mark Mobius, who is another alumni from the class of 1954, made a separate donation of over $3,300 to supply us with a reading nook. So we'll have 6 chairs and 4 end tables in the library soon, because the things that we get here really impact every student in the school. Saying that this is your library. Like, we are here for you. That's the only reason that we're here, is to help you in any way that you need help, and that's it. So I always want students to know that they are welcome here in this library, that this is their space. That's a really important, for me, it's really important for Ms. Gellerman, that you guys know that this is why we're here.
This mysterious door that I've had people thinking for years, what's behind this door?
Maybe fun library secrets.
An electric panel.
I've always wondered that. I don't really know. Probably like the electrical unit. I don't know.
Oh, I think that's just like a boiler room. That's all I think.
Books.
But more books.
Probably just more books. Probably books.
Textbooks, school textbooks, and other things of that nature.
Probably school stuff, I don't know.
Extra storage for books in the library.
I think there's a pirate, maybe like another extra pirate or something.
That is Miss Stack's secret dance party room. In that room are flat screen TVs. In that room is a caged tiger. And in that room is the pool that brings you up to the elevator.
And today, I'm going to take you on a journey to find out what's behind this mysterious door. Let's go. So, right off the bat, I noticed this beautiful silver doorknob. Now, when you walk into a room and has a silver doorknob, it's gonna be a good one. Now let's walk up these dirty stairs. Oh wow! Okay, wow! Look what we have here. This seems to be a 1947 door, and it's wood, so that's a little creepy. I'm a little creeped out by now. I don't know if I want to go up here, but we're doing this for you guys. Very dusty. The stairs, it looks like the paint is chipped off them. Oh wow. Not what I was expecting at all. You know, when I came up here, I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting, like illegal weapons being sold on the black market, just being stored in here. That's not the case. It just seems to be that we have some air conditioning ducts, the electrical panel, some stairs that lead up to a thing, and this is a little weird. I'm gonna go up here. So, it's just a random flight of stairs that leads to an ordinary fan. Now you may be thinking, why is this fan up here? I don't know. I can't answer that question. I'll try and find out for you guys, but... Oh my god, look at this! Oh my god! Look at this door. Are you ready for this? Wow. Alright, so as you can see here today, nothing in this room is really spectacular. I wondered for a while, and I'm just bored now. There's nothing up here that really excites me. So I think we're just gonna have to leave. This seems to be a nice metal ladder that leads to a hole. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going up there. No, not going up. Alright, so as you can see, nothing special. I've been wondering for years what's behind this door. There was nothing. I'm just bored. So I hope you enjoyed this little journey we took today behind this mysterious door, going up these mysterious stairs. I've been G. Paladino from VM Broadcasting. Have a good day.
So our English teachers, a lot of our English teachers, have decided to institute some independent reading into the curriculum. So normally in a traditional high school classroom, you get assigned a book and everybody in the class reads the same book, right? Well, now what a lot of our English teachers are doing some of that, but also allowing students to select their own books and kind of doing a reader's workshop approach instead.
So I got a project for English, and I have to take out a book from the library, and I've never done that before. I'm kind of nervous about it.
So one of my favorite jobs is helping students find books that they like to read. It's really fun to pair a student, especially a student that doesn't like to read or hasn't read a book in a really, really long time, giving them the opportunity to find a book that they might enjoy. It's called Reader's Advisory, and basically I have a conversation with the student and ask them questions based upon their likes and their dislikes, and then try to match the perfect book to them.
It's a disaster.
It's like a lot. So, right, this was perfect. Thank you.
What's your favorite movie that you saw? Favorite movie of all time?
Have to be about a book.
No.
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers. Okay, so you like funny things. You like humorous books. Okay. All right, we're getting somewhere. What do you like to do after school?
I play a lot of sports.
You play sports. So you would you be interested then maybe in a funny sports book?
Yeah.
All right, okay. So then let's come over here and we'll go into the fiction section and try to find the book.
I have 4 books here, 2 by Michael, 1 by Matthew Quick, and 3 by Joe Clay. John Grisham. Once she showed me around, she kind of narrowed it down to these 4. I think I'm gonna do Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, because they all look pretty good. I'm gonna ask Miss Gellerman to check out the book that I want.
Be back on May 24th, okay? And if you need it for a little longer, please come in. You're welcome.
Have you ever wondered what was behind that curtain in the Mepham High School library? I'm Jay Palladino, and today I'm going to take you on a journey to see what's behind that mysterious curtain.
What's the green curtain?
I don't know. Maybe like secret books?
Behind the green curtain, probably like
Wait, hold on. I don't know. It's got to be a tennis racket.
I would say school files, stuff like that. Not really sure, to be honest.
No clue.
After Miss Mepham, I really hope my trophy's behind it, because I deserve the win, all right? I deserve that trophy.
Let's go. Well, it feels and looks just like a regular curtain. Let's open it up. Oh, hello.
How are you?
How are you?
Hi. Good.
So I just want to ask a few questions about this place, because, you know, not everybody in the school knows about it. So, first off, what's your name?
Bambi Sate.
And
this is Kevin Ryan.
Hi.
We're the IT guys. We also have Matt, which you guys all know Matt. That's part of the team.
As one can see, the IT team based in the library does a lot for Mepham High School, such as fixing broken laptops and computers, along with managing Wi-Fi and Ethernet connections. So, this is the moment everybody's been waiting for. What's behind this curtain?
What's behind the curtain?
But now, let's see what's in this room. Come on. So, So, it's a sink, you know, a Mickey Mouse bottle of soap. Some, yeah, I think printers, some snowball mics, you know, those are familiar to us in the studio. And this looks like where all the cords go, that looks like where all the connections coming from that goes to all of the electric in the school. So, yeah, all this, you know, one extra high yield return program toner cartridge, you know, very familiar with those. Just a bunch of boxes, you know, very mysterious. Not what I was expecting, but very mysterious.
The people asked, and I answered. Turns out, the only thing behind the green curtain was just the IT team, fixing computers and helping out Mepham. I've been Jake Palladino, your library explorer.
Library Lady of Mystery. People wonder, who is Miss Gellerman?
Miss Gellerman? No, nope.
Do you know who Miss Gellerman is?
I'm not really good with names. If you pointed her out, maybe I'd know. Librarian.
What does she do?
I don't know, like she's in charge of books and stuff.
Miss who?
Miss Gellerman. Miss Gellerman.
Miss Gellerman?
Yeah.
Miss Gellerman. Alright, to be honest, I don't know.
And who's Gellerman? I don't know who Gellerman is.
She works here. I don't know. I've seen her around. I just don't know what she does.
So who really is Miss Gellerman?
Okay, what I do here are all the clerk duties and everything pretty much that Ms. Stack doesn't do. Right now, I'm entering books into our computer system, into our catalog. I do that. I'll cover them eventually. I help students as much as I can with whatever they need here. And I do all the ordering for the library. And if you have a question, I try and answer it. Working with the students. That's my favorite part.
The library would not function smoothly without Ms. Gellerman. She's so helpful and so kind to the students. In fact, this year when a student came in to ask for a book that we didn't have, she purchased the book on her own for the student. So she's beyond helpful.
Well, one of the things that I do is I get research articles for the science research students. I really like to do that. It's research for me, and I like being able to get the articles that students can find by themselves online.
So what is the average day like for this unsung library superhero?
In the school outside the library, I do some things for the English department. I work as a secretary for the English chairperson as well as working here in the library. And I also am part of the mentoring program. I have a mentee that I get together with occasionally. We've been together since she was in 9th grade, now she's in 11th grade. And I love being in the program. I love spending time with my mentee, and I hope that she feels the same way. After 2:15, when school's over, I keep the library open for all the students to come in and do their work or socialize a little bit, use the computers, wait until they have practice, whatever it is. I'm here after school every day. Outside of my job, I like to walk at the beach, I like to bicycle ride, and I like spending time with my grandson whenever I get a chance.
As Miss Gellerman closes the library for the day, wish her well and thank her if you see her in the halls. Now that you know who this library superhero really is and what she does for us.
In 1934, construction started on Mepham High School actually in January of 1934. And in 1937, we opened our doors September 8th, 1937, to house 10th, 11th, and 12th graders here at Mepham High School. And the library is actually named for William S. Christie, which most people don't know. It's the William S. Christie Memorial Library. He was a district clerk who was very instrumental in helping to create the formation of the Wellington C. Mepham Central High School District, which is now the Bellmore-Merrick Central High School District. The first librarian at Mepham was a woman by the name of Miss Moyle, and the library was a hot spot at Mepham. This is where students came to study and prepare for exams, and there's even a little story in the 1942 student handbook that says that the library could not be used as a dating center, so you couldn't come here to meet your boyfriend or your girlfriend. There also was a library club that lasted at Mepham for years. Young girls could join the library club, and they helped Miss Moyle and the later librarians keep the library in order, and then they hosted a tea each year for the faculty where they interacted with them and brought them to the library to see what they had been working on. And there's an architectural design on the ceiling which most people notice replicates the swastika. The building was built prior to World War II, and the swastika was a Native American symbol for peace prior to it being used by the Nazis during the Holocaust. And the librarian used to sit at a circular desk in the middle of the library, different from how Ms. Stack sits now. And obviously in the 1930s, there were no computers. I think that when I first started at Mepham, nobody came to the library. So it was 13 years ago. We had a different librarian, and it wasn't really a place that kids frequented very often, or classes. When Ms. Stack came in 2006, she really turned the library into a place that both students and teachers would want to come to and interact in. And this place is packed, pretty much on a daily basis, whether it's with classes or students in here to do their work. And it's a pretty accessible place for all of us, including, teachers, to get information that we need.
Even when you're not in the library always has a way of being where you are throughout the school.
So right now, I'm just getting ready for a breakout EDU. Are you familiar with that? All right, so have you ever been to like an escape the room where you get locked in a room and you have to answer all these kind of riddles and clues to try to get the key to unlock the door? Yes. So it's a similar concept, but it's for educational use. And they're boxes like these with hasps and then different types of locks, like 3-digit locks, key locks, 4-digit locks, directional locks, word locks.
Google Apps has become widely popular throughout the school, yet many people don't realize that it originally started from the library.
We were one of the first school districts on Long Island to use Google Apps for education. We are pioneers here. So back in 2008, we took a trip to Google in New York City and were introduced to Google Apps for education, meaning Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Drive, Google Spreadsheets. Google Apps for education was free, and that was really enticing to us, but we didn't know what cost there really would be for using them. During that, students no longer had to email projects that they started working on in school, email them home, that way they could continue working on them at home. Like, what a great solution where students can access it anywhere that they have an internet connection.
What do you like about it? I like that I don't have to save.
You can exit and it saves automatically.
Okay. What do you like about it?
It's convenient because when you X out of it, it saves all your work. You don't have to worry about saving it, and it just does it automatically for you.
And look, just 10 years later, like, everybody's using it. Kids don't even know what a flash drive is anymore. Kids don't know how to email attachments because they have access to their documents anywhere. It helps where there's no more excuse that, like, I didn't have my homework or I couldn't work on it because it was here at school, because you have it wherever you go.
Kahoot is a very popular review game that teachers use to get students excited about learning.
I do. I love Kahoot.
I love Google Docs.
Because you don't have to do classwork and you just play a game the whole period, and the music is really cool. Like, I can dance to that.
Okay.
I think Kahoot has become popular because students want to use their devices in the classroom, and it's great because we are a bring your own device district. So you guys already have the technology in your hands, and it's a great and easy way for teachers to find out what you know, what you guys don't know, what they need to review, what they need to spend more time on, and stuff that they don't need to spend more time on because you guys have got it handled. It's quick and it's easy, and I think that the students like the technology piece. because it's a game. Students are competitive and they love to win. I'd be the same way.
The library is always finding new ideas and technologies to bring into the school. Who knows in the next 10 years what the next big thing will be.
Most students and teachers will leave right away at the end of the day. However, the library is still full of life and energy even as the day winds down. Students will work on computers, socialize with friends, do homework, or play at the Jenga tower. Here's what some students think about the library.
We get to just do what we think we have to work on, and it's quiet, and I get to sit with my friends.
Just to get my work done. That way I'm not really overwhelmed at home, so I can go home and, sleep, rest.
Clearly, the library is a place where students can congregate, learn, and have fun. Here's what Mr. Patton thinks of the library after school.
I think Mepham's library is the hub of our community. This is where people come to learn, to gain resources, to meet with friends, and to prepare and conduct classwork.
Everyone can work and relax at the end of the day in the library. However, the library soon must close. Miss Gellerman will approach the door and prepare to close it. She then closes the door, locks it up, and leaves the school. And this concludes a day in the life of the library.